a home, the place our heart should be. I can't believe that we should never ever want to be close to home, close to home.
Oi, how much longer is Vet gonna be then?
I'm sorry, are you talking to me?
Yes, darling, I am. I've been sat here for 15 minutes. My pig's sick, you know.
We're all pig sick, Mr. Campbell. It's just one of those days.
Are you trying to be funny?
Heaven forbid. All I can say is Mr. Shepherd will see you as soon as it's your turn.
Right, Mrs. Garrett, just give Rolly 2 tablets a day mixed in with his food. Come back in a week if he's no better.
Thank you.
Right, Rose, who's next?
It's the fat pig over there. Mr. Kimball?
Yeah, about time too. Come on, Poirot.
You know, until now, I've never subscribed to the theory that owners look like their pets.
Right, Mr. Kimball. What seems to be the trouble?
Well, it's Poirot here. He's not well. He's off his food, he's unsteady on his legs, and he's got this rash on his back.
Well, let's see if we can solve the case, shall we?
Eh?
Well, it's quite elementary, Mr. Kimball. I deduce that Poirot has got sunburn.
Sunburn? You taking the mick?
Not at all. It's very common with pigs.
Well, what's the answer then?
Easy. Just get him a T-shirt and a pair of Ray-Bans. No, it's all right, Mr. Kimball. I was only kidding. Use some of this calamine to reduce the inflammation. In future, just put some sunblock on it.
Oh, right.
Of course, ideally, Poirot just needs a place to wallow and cool down on a hot day.
Oh, I can arrange that. Sure the old lady won't mind sharing her bath.
That's not exactly what I had in mind. Just keep him out of strong sunlight. We don't want him turning to crackling before his time.
Right,
Thank you, Mr. Kimball.
Cheerio, Porky.
His name's Poirot.
I know. What an objectionable man. Obviously a product from the Bernard Manning Charm School.
Right, Rose, who's next?
Mr. Nedwall with his tortoise.
Well, can you make sure he carries it in? I'm in a bit of a rush today.
Oh,
I've got to make some arrangements for Saturday's fete.
don't tell me you've been dragged into that ghastly do. Talk about a fate worse than death.
Actually, Rose, I'm on the organising committee. I felt it my duty to make sure that last year's fiasco isn't repeated.
Oh, yes, that trouble with the Morris dancers. What caused all that?
Well, one of them found out that another one was having an affair with his wife. During Strip the Willow, he finally snapped and all hell broke loose.
It certainly gave new meaning to knocking 7 bells out of someone.
Well, it's not going to happen again this year. I'm going to make sure of that. Everything's going to run like clockwork.
Actually, boss, if you want something really spectacular, I could organise a display for you.
Oh, yeah? Of what?
Leave it to me. I'll show Mr. Nedwall in.
Right.
Oh, there you are, Rose. Hi, Dad.
Robbie?
You win, Rose. According to my Encyclopedia of Music, Jupiter is the bringer of jollity.
I told you so.
Why, who did he say?
Jive Bunny.
Sir, here's your £2.
Hang on. What's going on here?
How about double or quits?
Robbie, are you betting for money?
What is the tallest man?
Robbie, stop.
What?
Now, you know my feelings about gambling.
Oh, this isn't gambling. It's just a friendly bet.
Well, there's money involved. That makes it gambling. Rose, you should know better.
I'm sorry, boss. I've been hooked on it ever since I was a croupier on a Mississippi riverboat.
But don't you realise where it all leads?
Gulf of Mexico, isn't it?
I'm talking about Robbie's gambling. I simply won't allow it. I've said my last word on the subject.
I bet you haven't.
Who was that on the phone just now?
Oh, Tom. He said he'll pick you up at 8 to take you to the fake committee meeting.
Well, can't I meet him?
No, apparently the community hall was double booked, so they've moved it somewhere else.
I don't know why I let Tom talk me into this. I must be mad.
Hey, Vicki, look. What Seymour's doing. Ooh.
To think you doubted him.
Papaya and pomegranate.
Yes, I'm making jams for the fete.
Whatever happened to strawberry or blackcurrant?
That's so boring. I thought we'd go a bit more exotic.
The people around here think apricot's exotic.
Then we'll just have to cultivate their palates, won't we?
What's rambutan?
It's like a little hairy lychee.
Oh, that's funny, because so are you, Robbie. It's better than being an ugly fruit.
Don't squabble, darlings. I've got a lot to get through. I haven't started my persimmon and guava marmalade yet.
Nor your customers, if they've got any sense.
I think you're underestimating how discerning they'll be.
I think you're overestimating how rich they'll be. Look at the price.
What?
£9.40.
I thought that was very reasonable.
They won't pay that. No, not when they're going to have their stomach pumped as well.
Hello, James.
Sorry to barge in, Helen. I think one of the animals has got out. There's a terrible smell around the house.
It's an orangutan.
An orangutan? Who brought that in?
It's a fruit, James. You may laugh, but I think my jams are going to be the hit of the fete. People will be queuing up to get hold of my preserves.
Now, there's a thought.
I bet they won't, Mum.
I bet they will.
£2 says you won't sell a single jar.
Robbie, I've told you about this betting. Now, just cut it out.
Sorry, Dad.
I think you're all jolly mean about my jams.
Oh, sorry, Mum. Sorry, Mum.
There, sorry, Helen. We don't really mean to upset you. Only, do you mind if I open a window? Only I've got some people coming round, and I don't want them thinking that dreadful smell is me.
Oh, come on, don't be so childish.
We're not going in there.
It's like taking a kid to school for the first time. Now, come on.
No chance.
Oh, Vicki.
Look, you knew the meeting was here and you deliberately kept it from me. You know how I feel about this man.
Look, stop it. Just put your own personal feelings aside for the sake of the fete. This is business, all right? Now, when it's all over, you can go back to your petty squabbles, but until the fete's finished, for my sake, just be a good girl.
All right.
Promise?
I know what I'd like to do.
What?
I promise.
Good evening, Tom. Good grief, it's you. Look, Tom, I only deal with domestic pets. Wild animals are out of my league.
Animals, I'll give you a... Good evening. How nice to see you again. This way, is it?
Tom, what is she doing here?
You kidding? I couldn't keep her away.
Right, so that's confirmed that the marquee will be available to us from the Friday afternoon.
Yes, indeed. I take it that the Cubs are prepared to erect it for us.
Oh, no.
Is there a problem with that, James? After all, they did put up the marquee last year.
Over and over again, as I remember.
I thought they did very well. Whenever I asked them for assistance, they were always ready with a smile and a salute.
But that wasn't the official Cub salute, Vicar. I think you'll find that that's got 3 fingers.
Well, perhaps we ought to explore other avenues. Now, what's next? Ah, yes. I'm pleased to announce that the fire brigade will be giving their annual firefighting demonstration.
Oh, well, I hope it's better than last year. I personally thought the hosepipe ban rather took the drama out of it.
Oh, really? I rather enjoyed it.
Oh, come on, Mrs. Mossop. 6 grown men standing there holding limp hoses saying gush, gush, whoosh, whoosh. This is the general idea.
Yes, perhaps you're right.
Oh, before I forget, Rose and her friends have offered to organise a display for us as well.
Oh, really? Of what?
Well, she won't tell me, but I think we can trust Rose to make it spectacular.
That's something to be looking forward to.
Tell me, Vicar, are we having the Salvation Army Band and Chorus again this year?
I believe so.
Oh, good.
Yes, I thought you'd be pleased, Tom.
Now listen, James, it wasn't me who laced their tea with vodka.
Well, it certainly brightened things up, though, didn't it?
Oh, yes, I didn't know there was a rap version of All Things Bright and Beautiful.
There isn't.
Tell me, why was their captain breakdancing?
He wasn't breakdancing. The poor guy was just out of his skull.
Well, we'll just have to keep an eye on them this year. Now, animals. I believe that's your territory, Vicky.
Yes, I've never done this sort of thing before. Now, what exactly do I have to do?
Well, the contest is divided into 2 parts. Firstly, there are the children's pets, and secondly, the farm animals.
That'll be no problem for you, because Mr. Thomas always wins that section with his goat.
How come?
He's the only one who enters.
I see. Now, exactly how are the children's pets divided?
They're not.
What? You mean they just bring along their fish, parrots, cats, dogs, hamsters and tortoises and I've got to pick out the best?
That's right.
But that's balmy. How am I supposed to distinguish between them?
Well, I think I can help you there. If it's in water, it's probably a fish. If it's got a hard shell, it's almost certainly a tortoise.
I can do without your sort of help. Thank you.
Now listen, Vicky, it's very simple. You just pick out the kid that looks as if it'll burst into tears if it loses and give it the prize.
I think you'll do very well. In fact, I'm convinced that this year's fete's going to be the best ever. In fact, James, if it's not, then your son's going to be £3 better off.
Well, that was a good laugh, wasn't it?
I
I didn't think so.
You want to keep your trap shut. Can't you see she's upset? Well, it wasn't my fault no one wanted to buy her stupid jams. Oh, before I forget, you owe me £1. What for? Don't give me that. You said Mr. Prothero's marrow would win the contest. It did win the contest. Yeah, but it wasn't a real marrow, was it? It was a balloon all painted up. We don't know that for sure. Oh, come on, it burst when they pinned the rosette on it. Could have been spontaneous combustion. Leave off, just give me the £1.
Robbie?
Just lend me the £1 and I'll let you have it back next week.
Where's your mother?
She's in the kitchen. She's still really upset.
Well, it was a bit of a nightmare for her, wasn't it?
I think it was a nightmare for everyone involved. What about that skydiving display? What a cock-up. Robbie? What? Which idiot was responsible for that?
Don't say a word, I feel dreadful.
Rose, is that you?
I'm afraid so, boss. They call me Sparrowhawk. Team leader of the Red Condors. I just don't understand what went wrong. We had the formation all organised. We'd been through the drill a dozen times in my front room. I mean, what idiot painted a red cross on that tent?
The Red Cross.
Oh, of course. Oh, we thought it was our landing zone. Fred Porritt broke his leg.
Oh, dear. What happened? Didn't he shoot open properly?
No, he was inside the tent, having a bee sting seen to. When Millie Fairbrother landed on him. Dear old Hetty Bates was last seen at Peterborough.
Oh, dear. She drifted off course a bit?
Not at all. She just landed on the 416 from St Pancras. Anyway, I've got a dash. I've got to go and cut Myrtle Greenwood down now.
I didn't know Rose is into dangerous sports.
Nor did I.
Speaking of dangerous sports, hadn't you better go and talk to Mum?
Oh, yes. A man's got to do what a man's got to do.
I've never been so humiliated in all my life. 87 jars I made, and how many did I sell? 1. And that was to you.
Well, you can never have too much mangosteen and paw preserved, can you?
It's all that woman's fault.
Which woman?
Oh, you know, what's her name? Wurzel.
You mean Vicki Foster? Well, how was it her fault?
Well, if she hadn't started that stupid argument with Mr. Thomas about his silly goat and drawn the crowd would have flocked to my store.
Oh, come on, Helen. The reason the crowd didn't flock to your store was because your jams were overpriced.
You bought a jar?
Well, only because you knocked £8 off.
Well, I still think it was her fault, and if I never see her again, it'll be too soon.
Well, you better steer well clear of here tomorrow night, then. Because she's coming round for dinner.
Where are you going to be sitting, Robbie? Why? Well, I just want to be sure to get the pelican bib and pusher in the right place.
I'll have you know, I've been to sophisticated dinner parties before.
Oh, yeah, really sophisticated. Jellies, crisps and party bags.
Oh, shut up.
You know, I still can't believe that Dad got Vicki Foster to agree to this dinner.
Well, no, I was offering 13 to 2 against. I think he bribed her.
I don't know, he must have done something. I mean, this is a bit like Tom and Jerry sitting down to share a piece of cheese.
How are you getting on, you two?
Fine. In fact, we were just wondering how you managed to persuade Vicki to come over here.
Oh, well, you obviously missed my heroic moment at the Fete when I confronted Mr. Thomas and his goat.
Hmm?
Yes, Mr. Thomas started an argument with Vicki because she placed his goat second in the competition, and he didn't like it. The fact that he relieved himself over the judge's table didn't help.
Mr. Thomas?
No, the goat. Anyway, I sprang to Vicki's defence, and while her guard was down, I invited her over for dinner.
Yeah, but why?
Well, I don't know, there was something about her that appealed to me. Her strength of character, her obvious intelligence.
Her tight jeans.
Yes, they may well have tipped the balance.
You fancy her?
Well, a bit perhaps. Anyway, what's time is it now?
It's nearly 8.
Good, she'll be here soon. In fact, I'd best open up the wine to let it breathe.
Oh, what's that, an expensive burgundy?
No, this is Chateau Mrs. Norris, her famous damson and plum wine from the south side of her spare bedroom. I picked up a crate of it from her stall. Ah, yes, an unpretentious little wine that greets the nostrils like an old friend. Dashing, brave, yet with an underlying hint of modesty. Gordon Bennett. It's Semtex.
Dad, I thought you were going to let it breathe.
Yeah, well, I think the sooner this one suffocates, the better. We better go and sort something else out.
That smells lovely.
Yes, I thought I'd treat her to the chicken chasseur.
Ah, very continental.
Yes, skinned and boned chicken pieces, some nice plump tomatoes, a hint of fruit juice, a dash of sherry, some red currant jelly, and, what was it? Oh, yes, maize extracts and stabilizers.
You cheat.
What?
It's out of a packet.
Not entirely. I have yet to add the one underlying ingredient that will make it a huge success. Voila! The James Shepherd pinch of salt.
Dad, are you nervous about tonight?
Not at all. Why do you ask?
Because you've just added sugar to your chicken.
No, I haven't, have I? Oh, well, she'll never notice. She's here now. Don't panic.
Who's panicking? I'll get it.
No, Kate. Yeah. Good idea. You get it. Okay, you ready?
Hi. Is your dad in?
He's in a state. Come in.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. You?
Fine.
Good.
Would you like to sit down?
Thank you.
How was your journey?
Oh, fine. Apart from a slight hold-up on the North Circular.
But apart from that, it was fine?
Yes. Fine.
Good.
Flipping heck, it's not going to be like this all evening, is it?
I'm sorry, can I introduce my kids?
Kids? Thanks, Dad.
This is my daughter Kate, this is my son Robbie, this is Vicki.
We saw you at the farm.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, there was that terrible incident with the sheep that Dad let loose.
Yes, well, I don't think we need to dwell on that, Robbie.
Boy, oh boy, did you screw up that day.
Yes, thank you, Robbie.
You'd think being a vet you'd know better, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Come on, Big Mouth, you can help me with the food. No, I understand. Watch these two. Robbie? Well, how am I meant to learn about the birds and the bees when you won't even let me start in the garden? You get the crockery, I'll get the first course. What is it? Spaghetti hoops, really?
I'm sorry, it appears we've become a spectator sport.
That's all right, I don't mind. Truth is, I don't really know what I'm doing here.
Oh?
Well, I'm not supposed to like you, remember?
Oh, right. Yes. So why did you say yes?
You took me by surprise. You were, well, nice.
Well, no surprise there. I am nice.
And so modest. No, but I did want to thank you for sorting out that business with Mr. Thomas.
Oh, that's all right. I was amazed at the way he flew off the handle like that.
Well, I did have to put his goats second.
Absolutely. Quite right, too. Smelly, disgusting creature.
Wasn't that bad?
No, I was talking about Mr. Thomas.
Still, I'm glad you stepped in when you did.
Yeah, well, I wanted to avoid unnecessary violence. I didn't want to see our fate marred by bloodshed.
Oh, right.
You know, you would have killed him if you connected with that chair.
Rob's up. Isn't grub, Robbie. It's Dad's cooking.
Did you do this?
Yes, just a few bits and pieces I threw together.
Yeah, it cost him a packet.
Being a single-parent family, as it were, I've taken the time and trouble to learn how to cook.
Oh, it's a shame you didn't learn how to use the cooker. That soup's freezing. It's supposed to be cold bird brain. It's gazpacho. What's to follow? Hot salad?
Robbie? Oh, I wonder who that can be.
Don't be long or your soup will get warm.
Darling.
Helen!
I'm so sorry I'm late. The traffic was simply ghastly. It was the most dreadful journey. Oh, you've started without me. You're here. James, you are a scamp. You told me this was going to be a little intimate family dinner. Oh, well, where shall I sit?
Hampstead's nice.
I do like your dress, Nicky.
Vicky.
Oh, dear, that style was back in fashion.
Helen, please, don't start.
I don't know what you're talking about, James. I've just come to spend the evening with my family.
You weren't invited, Helen.
Hello, darlings. How are you? Did you enjoy the fete?
Yeah, it's great.
Ooh, gazpacho, my favourite. Who made this?
I did. Look, Helen, would you please go?
No, I think I'd better go.
Look, stay where you are. Look, Helen, I know what game you're playing, and I won't put up with it.
I don't know what you're talking about, James.
I'm still upset with Vicki because of that jam business.
What jam business?
Well, Mum says because of your argument with Mr. Thomas, she was unable to sell any of her jams.
Well, she reckons it was your fault.
Robbie.
My fault?
Yes, your fault.
I heard your stuff was grossly overpriced.
For heaven's sake, it was not overpriced.
Come on, Robbie, I think I can smell something burning in the kitchen. I think I can smell something burning out here. Come on. I'll give you 2 to 1 on the blonde.
I don't need this. I'm going home.
Look, stay where you are, Vicky. Now listen, Helen, it's not Vicky's fault that you're stuck with 600 weight of exotic jams. It's just one of those things. Now look, I'd like you both to please shake hands and be friends.
Well, thank you for a most interesting evening.
I'm sorry about Helen.
That's all right. Listen, it's only natural that she should feel antagonism towards me. She was your wife, remember? And whatever differences you had in the past, she's bound to feel a little bit jealous.
But we're divorced and she's remarried.
Hadn't you better see how she is? She's been in that bathroom for over half an hour.
Yeah, well, that's what you get for bringing a bottle of Mrs. Norris's damson and plum wine.
Actually, I heard some idiot bought a whole case of the dreadful stuff.
There's one born every minute.
Well, I'll better be off.
Right. Drive carefully.
Oh, yes. And thanks again.
No, thank you for being so understanding.
It's all right. I must say, it is never boring when you and I meet. First there was the ram, then the car.
Don't forget the profiterole rolls.
Yes. I can't wait to see what happens next time.
Oh, there'll be a next time, will there?
Possibly. Night.
Good night. Yes.
All right, you win. Here's your £3.
That's all right, Robbie. You can keep it. It's been my pleasure. Come here.
Close to home, the place our heart should be. I can't believe that we should never ever want to be. Close to home is where I need to be, where all the troubles of the day can keep me company. Close to